Joining us on the line is Aaron Lawrence of a new group, and this group is called Brunson. Aaron, it's great to have you here in South Georgia.
Hey, it's good to be here, man. Thank you for having us.
So you guys are based out of Lynchburg, Virginia.
Yeah, a little small town, you know.
I'm very familiar with Lynchburg, Virginia. I went to college at Liberty University, and I lived in the Shenandoah Valley for about 10 years or so.
Wow, that's awesome, man. I actually went to Liberty for a couple of years myself.
Oh, did you get kicked out or no?
No.
Okay.
I actually, I went for a couple of years, and, music is really my passion and what I want to do with my life, and I knew that in order to do it, I had to make some other moves, so, I took some time off, and, been working a few jobs here and there trying to support everything and pay for it all, but,
I hear you. Now, there was a little coffee shop that was fairly close to campus I remember going to all the time. I don't even remember the name of it. It may have changed names, or maybe it's not even there I was there back in the 90s. I'm trying to remember. It was in that square, and it was right next to the movie theater. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Drowsy Poet?
That's it. It's still called the Drowsy Poet. Okay, yeah. All right. Yes. You ever play there?
Awesome.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you actually, our song "Remember Me," so our first really big single was called "Remember Me," and we actually shot it at the Drowsy Poet.
Cool.
Before it shut down.
It gets shut down, so it's done there. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I want to check it out, man. Yeah, the live performance of us in the music video for "Remember Me" is at the Drowsy Poet.
Man. That was a fun place. Lots of people playing chess and drinking coffee and having a good time there at the Drowsy Poet.
Hey, I always enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Well, tell me a little bit about your group here. I mean, I was listening to your song, and you really mix up a lot of different genres of music to come out with a very unique sound I don't think I've heard from anybody out there.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that's something that we pride ourselves on and that we've been working really hard trying to establish that unique identity, to kind of set yourself apart but also stay true to yourself. A little bit about me. I started doing music almost 7-8 years ago, just start rapping. Actually, on my iPhone, I had the I Am T-Pain app that auto-tunes your voice, and I remember downloading instrumentals off YouTube and making covers, and then recording them on voice memo on my phone from the I Am T-Pain app, and then emailing that to my brother's phone, and then having him send that back to me so I could then upload it to YouTube. Because for some reason, you couldn't just put the file from the T-Pain app to YouTube, so it had to be this lengthy process. And the quality was terrible. But that's how I put out my first initial songs, man. And from there,
Wow.
I met fellow producers around town, and I was recording in living rooms, in basements, in dorm room closets, just straight rap.
That is just awesome. And I found you on Twitter, actually, and it seems like you're very savvy when it comes to being online and trying to get your name out there. What kind of following do you have in social media?
We've got a great following, man. Like I said, that's something that I've been working on for years, and just studying the game and studying how to market and studying how to engage people. I think the biggest misconception when it comes to social media today is that if you're an artist or a business and you're figuring out how to get people engaged with your product on a certain platform, you have to understand that there's different expectations for each platform. For example, if you're on Twitter, you want a conversation, but if you're on Instagram, you don't want to talk. You just want to see a picture and double tap it and keep scrolling, So you got to learn how to cater to your audience in their own ways on the respective sites. And if you can do that correctly, you'll be able to, not only engage people, but keep them satisfied and keep them looking at what you're doing for a long time.
Well, you definitely got my attention on Twitter, that's for sure. Just a great song, by the way, too, Family Tree, that you guys have out right now.
Yeah, thank you, man. That was actually funny story about that song. All right, so the album came out, Comfortably Miserable, our first album's on iTunes and Spotify. It came out 2014 in the summer, and it was really good. It took me 2 years to write. It was a true story from top to bottom, like an old school record where you listen to it in order from top to bottom, and you literally go through this journey with me. And, thinking, where do you go next from there? And I just knew that the music had to be better, and we knew it as a band. So me and my band literally have written over 600 songs
Wow.
here. You know, we were writing probably 4 or 5 a day for a long time, just because we knew the product had to be great. You know, if we're going to stand out, we need to be perfect. And in that, we kind of developed this style where we're blending these elements of country, we're blending these elements of, you know, Southern rock and Americana and hip hop all in this one element, and it works now. You know, it's like, you know, because this is all, you know, I grew up on Nickelback, Eminem, P.O.D., you know, Kenny Chesney, Eric Church, like Bob Marley. So I have all these influences in me that I love, and I'm a walking contradiction myself, and I had to figure out how to get that into the music, because that itself is what's going to separate us. And you kind of hear a little bit of that in Family Tree.
Well, I understand that you are trying to make some inroads in Nashville. Now, if you were trying this kind of thing, let's say 10 or 20 years ago, I think no one would want to listen to you. But I think right now in Nashville, I think country music itself is changing quite a bit, and the style is changing quite a bit, and you're seeing different country artists out there take some risks, take some chances, mix things in to their style that you never have seen before in the country music genre. So it seems like you guys are maybe ahead of the curve here with Nashville.
Yeah, and music's in a really good spot right now, man, at least in my opinion, just because artists aren't afraid to try things different, because you kind of have to. Because if you look on a normal kid's iPod who's 18, 20 years old, guy or girl, they don't just have country. They don't just have just rock. They have everything. They've got, you know, hip-hop. They've got trap music. They've got a little bit of country. They've got some rock on there. They've got top 40 pop. Like, it's everything. So as a musician, it's our responsibility to understand that. But also, it gives you the freedom to not have to fit in a direct genre box. And, you know, I'd never want to fit into a direct genre box, because I feel like if I do that, I'm just compromising on the product. And I don't want to compromise on the songs I write.
Well, how can people find more about your band, Brunson here, Aaron, and where can they go?
You know, we're on Twitter at Brunson434. We're on YouTube. The channel is Brunson434. We've got actually the video for Family Tree, and we've got all our other music videos up there. We're also on Facebook. Basically, any platform you can think of that you're on, we're going to be on it, and the name is going to be Brunson434. You'll search for it to come up.
I also wanted to mention something before we let you go here. You guys are helping out the Red Cross with those affected in Paris by the terrorist attack. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing there.
Yeah, so one thing that I wanted to do personally when, you know, we came out with this new music is, you know, find ways that we can impact the world in a greater way. But also, you know, because no one buys music anymore, or at least a majority of people don't buy music, especially from people you've never heard of. You're just going to stream it on YouTube or Spotify or whatever. So if you do buy it, I want to give you a reason why to buy it. And when you buy our music, you know, we make it very clear where the money's going. So when you buy Family Tree on iTunes, all the proceeds will go to the American Red Cross to help the victims of the terrorist attacks in Paris, you know. And that's just something that we do, like I said, to show you that, you know, we're here to make the world a better place. You know, we're not in it for the money. We're an indie band. We don't have a manager. We don't have a label. You know, we run everything ourselves. We have our own production team. We have our own producers. We have our own publicists. Like, we're our own entity. So we're in control of our destiny right here. And, you know, we absolutely want to help the world, make it a better place. But, you know, if we got to sell our music, you know, which we do, be on these big platforms, why not give you a reason to buy it? That way you're like, oh, well, he's not just, you know, when I buy the song, he's not just making his pockets fatter. Like, it's actually going to a specific cause, and it's going to aid these people in need. And I think if you do that, you know, I don't know of any other artists or band that's out there doing that all the time, other than like U2 maybe, you know. So,
sure.
You know, just trying to change the game in that way.
Awesome. Aaron Lawrence from the group Brunson. We appreciate you stopping by here, Aaron, and we look forward to hopefully talking to you again here sometime soon.
Hey, it was a pleasure being on here, and anytime you guys want to chat, let me know.